Hey, here for another live on a Sunday afternoon here.
Right there. Let's see. Come on, let's do it.
Just gonna wait here, just wait for a little bit, see if anybody's gonna join in before I start. So, just wanna do this nice walk. Yeah, it's not too bad out here. It's like in the 60s. I think it feels like 69 here. No, actually, no, it's actually 60 degrees. Rained yesterday. So I'm gonna start in a few minutes. So if nobody doesn't join in, that's cool. I'm gonna continue on in just at least maybe a minute and a half. I'm gonna start. These clouds. Okay, about to start in 20 seconds. Boy, man. It's been a great weekend. I was off work yesterday, Friday. Gonna be traveling again tonight. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna start right now. So, okay. Today, live, I'm gonna discuss about the insurgent government. Now, on my previous live, I talk about that the system, by their own admission, that is totalitarian party. Okay? And so, and I also mentioned, I believe in my previous live before that, I don't know, maybe a few weeks ago, just trying to think here, maybe a few weeks ago, I think, a month ago, I mentioned that the system is de facto. Anyway, so today I'm going to discuss about another, this is another statute that the system identifies itself. And just to understand about the oppression that we're going through and the things I talk about, well, a lot of the things I discuss in my live or any of my videos on my channel is not really, it doesn't fit the narrative that people have been brainwashed to accept. It's just what it is, So I do talk about things that I use the information that the system gives or identify themselves against them. And I just want people to do the research and look into this to themselves, not take my word for it. So the state governments, I'm going to start off with the state governments, okay? The state government under the 14th, I'll say the infamous 14th Amendment, okay, via the post-Reconstruction, none of the state governments are Republican form. None of them. I know the courts will use a doctrine about the guarantee clause of the U.S. Constitution that all state governments are Republican form. But if anybody have done their research through history, and you look at the characteristics of a Republican form of government, and then you compare the action of the state governments today, you will start to scratch your head and wonder what the heck changed. It's nothing to do about modern times. We talk about law. We talk about how the state governments, how they functioned back then and how they function today. Okay? I could just give you, some easy examples for you. Anybody could look up. I could just say about, for example, that the state police. If you look at the state police, or you want to call it state troopers, okay? The state troopers are a byproduct of a post-Reconstruction. Prior to the Reconstruction, None of the state government has state troopers. Okay? The two main law, let's say what you want to call identify themselves according to the Constitution, is that we have sheriffs and constables. Okay? No state troopers. Okay. And I might do a separate live about the state troopers and about the sheriff and how the original system functioned on that area. But I just want to talk about in this live, and I'm not going to be too long because I gotta split real soon. But I want to discuss about the state governments, okay? And I understand that a lot of people are basically, they're locked in with the political parties. People are whether if you want to call yourself conservative, liberal, libertarian, but you don't understand about what type of system we have. Again, it's by design. It's not for you to feel bad because we're not taught about different things by design. We're not. So I'm gonna share this statute here. Okay, it's Title 18. It's Title 18, Section 11, under foreign government. Okay, foreign government includes any government faction or body of insurgents within a country. Okay, with which the U.S. is at peace, irrespective of recognition of the United States. So I had to write this stuff down real quick because it's kind of hard to memorize some of the stuff. But I just want to tell you about, and I'm going to put the information down in the description below when I'm finished, okay? Let me see who joined here. Let's see here. What's going on, everyone? What's going on? Bucks. Okay. All right, so during the Reconstruction, okay, now let me explain about the insurgent government. The insurgent government, or I'll just say a foreign government, and a lot of people may kind of disagree, but again, a lot of us, we don't know certain things, right? And I'm going to start off like this. Every state in the Union is, by design, are independent. They have a republic, okay? All right. So what happened was during the Reconstruction, okay, folks, is that the federal, okay, became more involved in the states. They became, how I put it, I'll just say, interference in regards to the state. So during the Reconstruction Act, when the 10 southern states was under military occupation, okay, and then Rump Congress at the time put the 10 southern states under military occupation, removed by military force, the lawful state governments, okay, and put military commanders, okay? Those military commanders during the Reconstruction was there up until maybe the later Reconstruction, and I think shortly after the 14th Amendment was adopted by force, not lawfully, but by force, and then the military commanders, the southern states was readmitted to the Union. This kind of gets kind of weird. First, the southern states that didn't want to vote for the 14th Amendment at the time, they had to put them in military occupation. And because Rump Congress at the time didn't say that those state government was illegal. But then, strangely, they used the voting counts for those southern states that's under military occupation to pretend to ratify the 14th Amendment. So it's weird. You can't have it both ways. You can't say that a couple of states or more that's not recognized, okay, which those states were recognized, but you can't carry the narrative that the state wasn't recognized, but then you pretended to ratify the 14th Amendment with those states that's being occupied by U.S. military, okay? So to continue on, when the southern states was readmitted back to the Union, Rump Congress told those states, well, if you want to come back to the Union, you're going to have to follow our rules. You're going to have to We got to create new suffrage, okay, right of suffrage, okay, create a new whole, completely new, different constitution, the state constitutions. So the state government at the time, even though they was deprived of a Republican form of government, those states was readmitted back to the Union. They weren't magically back into a Republican form of government. The 14th Amendment created a brand new political structure from state to federal. Okay, so what we have now since then, okay, folks, and even the northern states, okay, and California, all the states in the Union in the post-Reconstruction are not a Republican form of government, okay? So this is one of the big problems that we're facing every day of our lives. We have our state houses being occupied. Sometimes I call them de facto officers because they are de facto. Okay, they're not de jure officials, but they are de facto officers. De facto officers, it's the same thing as usurpers. Okay, they are basically occupying those office that was created by de jure office, was created by the people of those states. Okay, but the office right now, all right, folks, in those states are being occupied by foreign government. Excuse me. Okay, so whatever the oppression you go through, whether through police power, whether through taxation, or whatever code and ordinance, all the oppression that we're going through in the state starts from the state house. Okay? And yeah, I'm going to include the local governments too, so-called governments. Okay? So this is something that people need to really understand what we're going through instead of you fixating your mind into let's say what Trump's talking about or whatever garbage that the media, the right, left wing propaganda or libertarian propaganda, whatever they talk about to distract you from understanding how the system operates. Okay? None of these people in office is going to tell you up front about that we don't have a Republican form of government, and by design, this system will continuously oppress you. I could go into the mechanics about the laws, the system rates under. Back then, under the Republican form of government, operates under obviously common law. Okay. This system under the post-Reconstruction operates mostly under administrative law, okay? Administrative law and also color of law, okay? And that's something that's very important to understand. Common law still exists today. It's just been hidden by the state governments, by the court systems here. You can use common law, but again, the system under the post-Reconstruction, under the 14th Amendment is a statutory system, okay? And we have been brainwashed to believe that statutory is actually real law. No, real law are the two laws that we need to understand throughout history is common law and natural law, okay? I will hopefully, I would like to do a PowerPoint presentation between common law and natural law and administrative law, because this is another thing we need to know. If you want to really understand how the system works against you, you have to understand what type of jurisdiction you're under. If you don't know what type of jurisdiction you're under, you're going to constantly suffer. You're going to constantly keep banging your head against the wall and wondering, well, why I'm being oppressed? Is it because I'm a conservative? Is it because I'm a liberal? Or is it because I am a libertarian? So all these political camps, these little political party camps, it don't really mean anything at all. It's just to keep you divided. The main thing that people need to understand is that everybody, U.S. citizens, are basically subject to the jurisdiction thereof, right? Section 1 of the 14th Amendment, and people are being oppressed by an insurgent government. An insurgent government that's operating outside of law. Okay, it's operating outside of the original framework. So your state constitution that you have now, the current ones, they basically align with the infamous 14th Amendment, okay? And it's not the same as the common law, or you want to call it the sovereign constitutions, because every state prior to the 14th Amendment was sovereign and independent, okay? That's another thing that a lot of us were not taught that, okay? I didn't know that. I didn't learn this stuff in high school, okay? I didn't. And actually, in fact, I really hated history back then. But I don't remember ever learning about any of the stuff that I'm sharing to you right now, folks. I didn't learn any of this stuff. I started learning this 10 years ago, okay? And I'm really grateful to know this stuff and to be able to be in a position to share this. But yeah, that's the main thing, folks. You know, that's the main thing that why we're being kicked in the behind. You know, this again, and I'll repeat this over and over because depending who you are, I don't care your age group, but it depends who you are. If you're an open-minded person, you're going to, you know, you're going to be willing to, like, hey, I would like to learn more about what you're saying. You want to dig in more, you know. But if you are a narrow-minded person that wants to stay stuck where you at and you're feeling comfortable because you pride yourself to be a liberal or a conservative or whatever political camp that you're proud to be under, you're not going to really want to care to know the stuff that I'm sharing. You're going to stay exactly where you are, and you will continue to suffer. That is a guarantee. I'm very confident to say that. Because I've been learning about this system. I'm still learning, but I've been learning about it for the past 10 years. Okay? I understand what's going on with whatever goes on in D.C. is very distracting. Let's just face it. Let's just face it. You're into entertainment and politics. And don't act like you don't. And if you don't, if you're sincerely not into politics, great. But I will say this: a great majority of people are really sucked into entertainment and politics, and that's what the enemy constantly gives you. Okay, and I'll say everybody in office, Trump, everybody. I don't care if people jump off the live or whoever if he's listening and live and you get offended that I'm saying something about Trump. I don't care if you get offended. Everybody in office is the enemy. Everyone, right? I mean, if you're a truther, you claim to be a truther, then hey, I'll just say this, and don't take my word for it. I provide all the receipts there. Okay, I put a lot of things that I post or I put in my channel. I put links for people to look up. It's up to you to utilize the time and energy to research the stuff that I share. But I kind of gotten better. I try not to argue with people. People they like to argue. They like to find ways to stay ignorant. They want to just, they don't want to believe that they've been duped for most of their lives. People just don't want to accept that. And I don't know if that's just human nature. I think it's all ego. I feel like, and I understand fully, and I learned this for the past 10 years, that not everybody's going to be open to receive certain things. Even the people that claim to be truthers. I've learned that a lot. I learned that a lot. And I really question those people. I'm like, how the hell are you going to claim yourself to be a truther and you seem to reject the stuff that I talk about without even researching it? I don't expect people to accept everything I say. I mean, I really don't want you to do that. But do yourself a favor, just do the research. And if you wanna quote unquote prove me wrong, what I'm saying is all garbage and everything, just show the information. Because I'm not interested to hear about your emotions, because the bottom line is the truth doesn't care about your feelings. If you have something to back up the things I talk about that is false, then provide that. And that's what I tell anybody in social media or in person. If you don't got anything to back up what you're saying, then stay quiet, listen, and learn. Okay? Or go somewhere else. That's just my attitude, you know? But yeah, this is what we got, what we have in the State House, folks. Is not about a Republican Party. It's not about a totalitarian party. It's about the fact that we do not have a Republican form of government. It doesn't matter who you vote. Voting under the 14th Amendment maintains the same insurgent government we have had since 1868. Voting has been kicking our behind, folks, for decades. For decades. Yes, I know a lot of us would talk about it's our civic duty. Yes, it's civic duty to get your ass kicked every 2 to 4 years by a different dictator, by passing bills and creating more codes to restrict everything you do in your life. All right? So yes, go ahead and go on and do your little civic duty. And how's that working for you, you know? So yeah, I want to put the spotlight about the insurgent government. I will put the information below, down here for everybody to look up. I will put down my newsletter link. If anybody to sign up, I will send out some articles, or I will send out my, as far as my the process that I'm doing. Keep anybody updated on my progress. Just to remind everybody, just in case those of you here now, if you wasn't here on my last live, there's a couple of things that I'm doing now, okay? I'm in a process of, if anybody hear about the 1033 program, okay, if you didn't, I'll explain real quick. The 1033 program is basically what militarized the police by the Department of Defense. Every state and every city, they give consent to this. It's a volunteer program, okay? I've been doing research about it, and yes, there are ways to stop the program. So I'm going to stop the militarization of the police, okay? That's one of the process. Now, if you're wondering why I'm doing that, well, I'm going to put this too to help you to understand why I'm doing this. Under the public duty doctrine, and I shared this before recently in my other live, the police do not have any constitutional duty to protect us. Okay? They don't. So I'm going to box them in on two fronts. I'm going to box them in about why that you don't have a constitutional duty to protect us. Okay? And then why are you militarizing the police force? You can't, you know what I mean? You can't carry on two different narratives that conflicts with each other. What I mean is you can't have it both ways. The public, the general public, needs to know the truth. So I'm going to expose the fraud about the whole thing about the police is there to protect and serve. I'm going to expose that too. That's another part of the process too. Okay? Okay? Because the fact is, whether you agree with me or not, and I'm not aligned with any political platform. I stick on law, constitutional law, common law, natural law. And yes, I do learn administrative law. That's the own stupid laws that how they carry out to oppress us. So I'm very resourceful, and the things I do, I know what I'm talking about. But I'm going to say this: the police out here in this system are lawbreakers. I don't care if their intention is, when they first join the force, is to help the community. The point is, under their own public duty doctrine, that is not their job. The job is not to provide. They're not obligated to provide protection. There's a lot of people have been victimized about that. A lot of people learned the hard way about that. For example, when you have a domestic dispute, and when you have, let's just say, it could be, I'm just going to say a woman, okay? She filed for order for protection. There's been lots of cases that the attacker came in her home. She filed for order of protection. What did the police do? Nothing. That's just an example. There's been cases that the police are not obligated to provide protection. They're not. So, do you understand why, again, to bring back what I'm saying is that about the whole thing about the public duty doctrine and about why they militarize by the Department of Defense. So, yeah, I'm going to every state, even Texas, I'm going to shut that program down, every state. And I'm doing this for the interest for the general public. So it's not just about me. Well, it is part about me because I'm living in society, but I'm doing this also for the general public. The people need to know the truth. So that's one of the things that I'm doing, folks. The other thing I'm doing is that I am going to remove United Nations out of Manhattan. I'm going to make sure that they not relocate anywhere else in the several states. I'm going to get rid of them. That's what I'm doing right now. All right. The Federal Reserve notes. There is legally, whatever, like legally, lawfully, there is a kill switch to do away with the Federal Reserve notes. Yeah, I'm doing that right now. Okay? These are the things that there's some people out there talk about these things, but they never really have any plan to do anything about it. It's kind of like we just accepting things, you know, the digital currency. We're just going to accept it. We're just defeated. I don't think that way. Okay? The way my mind works is I see a problem, then I think about, say, okay, what could be done about it? So I do the research, do some resources. You know, I'm like, okay, I'm going to take care of this the best I can on my end. I can't sit here and talk about a problem and there's nothing I could do about it. I don't operate that way. And I share these things to inspire other people to think the same. I can't force people to think, and I can't give people courage, okay? But what I can do is point folks to the right direction and inspire people that do want to take action. Because I'm going to tell you this, I'm going to tell you a flat out truth before I go. I'm going to have to go real soon. Nobody's coming down to save us, folks. Nobody from the inside, or whoever you want to elect in office, or whoever's in office, is going to save us. Nobody. Okay, and if you think that way, you're basically fucked. I'm not gonna be shy about saying that. Okay, nobody is coming here to save us but ourselves. The Creator, or whatever you call it, gave us the power to either be free or to live under tyranny. This is what I tell folks. I throw it right back at people. I don't wallow up in self-pity and woe is me. I'm going to throw it right back at people. Okay, yeah, we could point fingers about the oppressors all day. But at the end of the day, we're the ones, okay, we're the ones allowing this to happen. Do you understand, folks? We're allowing this to happen. I'm talking, I know some folks are chatting here. Let me see what's being talked here. Go, look at this guy. Okay. Okay, so anybody, okay, so yeah, I'm talking to myself, say, okay, later, take care, bye-bye. If anybody don't like what I'm sharing, please unsubscribe the channel. I know a lot of YouTubers don't say that, but I will say it. If you don't like what I share, unsubscribe, block the channel. You don't need to be here, okay? All right? I'm not here to talk to sheeples. I'm here to talk to men and women that have a mature mindset that is I'll put it like this, that is a forward-thinking, action-oriented person. If you're not that, if you're like an adult child, unsubscribe to this channel, okay? If you like what I share and this interest is resonate with you, subscribe, like and subscribe, okay? Anyway, so yeah, this is the thing, folks. You know, until people take action, your oppression will continue, and there's really nothing anybody else going to do about it. And you're going to have to realize that, well, it's, I am basically fucking myself up by being ignorant, staying ignorant, and by taking on the political dog and pony show. I'm basically doing it to myself, and that's it, So anyway, it's this, you have to make a decision, folks, you know. Decisions on you, That's the thing. That's what basically it was all about, Nobody could think for you. You're gonna have to make the tough decisions. I know we're used to allowing the system to make decisions for us, and we allow the enemy to do all the thinking because we're just not taught to be responsible people. We're taught to be whiners, and we go out and vote, and we whine about it again like adult children. That's exactly what it is. So again, thank you all for stopping by. And I do enjoy pissing people off, by the way. I do. I really do. It gives me a different fuel to keep sharing what I do, because I've been pissing off a lot of people. A lot of people. My subscribers might be low. Doesn't matter to me. The truth stands. I'm not here for the numbers. I'm not here for validation. I'm not here for people liking what I post or whatever. I do say I like what I post to help this channel go out as far as the algorithm. But regardless of that, whether my channel floats around YouTube or not, I'm still going to do what I need to do regardless. Regardless. I'm here putting my time and energy to share knowledge to people that really want to know, because you deserve it. And that's basically it, How you doing, Jane? Yeah, I see you. Yeah. Let me see here. Let's see who else is here. All right. Yes. All right, folks. I see somebody here. So, yeah, share this clip. If anybody's interested, and if you're a free-thinking person, share this with your friends and family. And thank you all for coming by. I will be back with another interesting topic. Take care.